Jambo Kenya, AFTV is on the way. From the 10th to the 16th of May, we're coming through.
Thanks to our betting partners, Batika, with the support of Serena Hotels, Steam Energy Drink and Kenya Airways for making this possible.
We'll be meeting fans, exploring your beautiful country and diving deep into Kenyan football culture.
And of course, the big one, Liverpool versus the Arsenal. The big watch party going down on May the 11th.
We've seen the passion online, and now we want to see it in person.
Kenya, we're coming.
Kenya, we're coming. Big up Kenya, we're on the way. Jambo, look at me speaking Swahili and that. Do you know what's bad, yeah? I watched the advert. I didn't even realize we're going on the 10th. I was thinking,
Man don't even know when he's flying out. You know, I love how Robbie's like the big one, Liverpool against Arsenal. It's like, yeah, on paper, but I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah, you know how it goes. We're coming to Kenya. It's gonna be a good vibes. Big up, the Kenyans over there. It's gonna be a nice community. It'll be a load of fun. I thought it was going on the 9th, but if we're going on the maybe we're flying on the 9th. I need to double check that. But big up the ad. Everyone in Kenya will be over there. We are coming, as Robbie said. So make sure you guys are ready. We'll be doing a big watch party there. We've got a good show for you lot. Obviously, we're gonna have to just. This is the hangover, really, of obviously what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
We're losing to PSG. I haven't really heard from Curtis. I watched his fan cam, but I don't know if he's gone. Did you go live today?
Yeah. Arsenal therapy, bro.
Yeah, see, I missed that one today. So we can have a little. That might be some repeated stuff in here, but it'd be good to just talk through from both our perspectives of how we, took in the game yesterday. We also might be having. We just got told by production. Ryan, this little fucker, goes, "Oh, Stuart might join you as well." Obviously, the PSG fan. And I was like, "Yeah, thanks for that. Cheers."
Thanks a lot, mate. We're suffering enough. We're going to bring a PSG fan on to gloat for 15 minutes. That's all we need.
Can't wait for that. It's gonna be ecstatic. It's gonna be great fun. Big up Stuart. But no, it's funny because obviously X as well I saw X. I knew he was gonna be with the PSG fans. He got a deal with EA, I believe, and they said they're gonna put him with PSG fans. But shameless guy, man, this guy. But let's put all that to the side, Curtis. Let's start then, brother. There's actually quite a lot to dissect. I know the scoreline was only 1-0. But there's a lot to kind of go through and look at. I don't know really where to start. I think we go obviously before the game. I think a lot of us knew what the lineup was going to be. I kind of wanted to see him maybe put Mars Lewis Skelly in there, start Ben White right back, put Timber left back. I wanted something different. And listen, as me, what I wanted to see, I never expected it to happen. It never happened. But I'm going back from before the game because obviously at Real Madrid, we saw Thomas Partey pick up the yellow card that made him suspended for this game. And I saw a tweet that said every minute that goes past, I get more annoyed at how stupid that yellow card was. And that's after the game finished. And people, I think sometimes I criticize Thomas Partey quite a lot, and I don't want people to think I'm on him that much, but it annoyed me. It's not down to him that we lost the game, of course not, but it annoyed me even more once the final whistle went and how much we missed him. We saw Declan Rice go try and press and help Timber with Kvaratskhelia, then the ball getting passed to Dembele for them to score their first goal. But that's where my first initial frustrations came, obviously, Thomas Partey not being available. Let's talk, bro. Let's just talk and we'll just see where it goes. For you, where do you want to start? Obviously, it's annoying. PSG, we're 1-0 down. Where do you want to start? You talk through how you saw it, and I'll jump in where we need.
We'll just kind of go over it in general, and then we'll break down bits and pieces of the game. Make sure people get involved in the chat as well. A lot to talk about, man. But I think you were right when you said it's like a hangover. It feels like, but then this hangover's not on the back of a good night out, because that was a bad night out. And you know what, bro? In the end, I felt kind of relieved that we only lost 1-0, because the way that game went, I felt like it could have been over. Do you know what I mean? Barcola for on goal. You're like, I think 2-0 we'd be saying it's done. It's over. It's done. Yeah, I mean, let's be real, right? Let's be real. 1-0. It's not just that they beat us 1-0, it's how they beat us. I don't think I've seen a team play how they played against us all season. I haven't seen anybody control us like that at the Emirates. I know Newcastle beat us in the Carabao Cup, but they were hitting us on the break. We were still dominating the ball. That first 30 minutes was crazy the way they were bopping us. And I just think, I mean, you spoke about Thomas Partey there, and I think he really let us down at the end of that Real Madrid game. He's an experienced player. He took the bait from Rudiger, got himself booked. And I think the thing that disappointed me was that I think we all knew Arteta was going to pick that team. You know, he'd shown that that's what he was going to do with Trossard, but I just felt too many things in the team were changed to cover for Thomas Partey. So you've pushed Rice from box to box to the 6. You've now got Trossard up front. You've got Marino in midfield. I felt like, could he have just said, look, I'm going to put someone in that role that Partey's playing. I'm going to leave Marino up front. I'm going to leave, you know, it kind of, we got completely overran in midfield. And we just looked disjointed. I think in the end, we did all right to create a couple of big chances, but you know what it's like, bro. You play in semi-finals and finals. They're usually close games. It's just about who takes them moments, and we just didn't take them.
I think you're right. We didn't take some moments. The thing that really, like, Luis Enrique done his homework, brother, down to a T. That's one thing I have to mention. His game plan shocked me. Absolutely shocked me. And the reason why I say it is because I look at every little detail of the game. I look at, okay, how do you stop Arsenal? It's funny, I never expected PSG to do a low block. I'm not saying they just sat there and camped back, but I'm telling you, every time we went for the attack, they got everyone behind the ball and they stunk out the defense by putting a low block in front of them, and we couldn't break it down. We know as Arsenal fans, we struggle to break down a low block. They got into shape very quickly and sorted that out. Then I looked at the set piece situations. The one that we got a disallowed goal for, Arsenal do this thing where, I love it, they have a train, they run all offside, and then they run they run all offside, and they quickly run in, and they expect to happen is the defending line to drop. As the ball's kicked, they expect the defending line to drop. So that's how they normally stay on side. PSG, if you watch that, they didn't move. So they were like, yeah, we know what you're going to do. If we don't move, someone's going to be offside. It's a risky game, but it worked because the goal got disallowed. The only way I've seen a team that's just not dropped before, and they tried to do that, it didn't work. But what we did to counter that, we pushed the player. So they pushed on the deepest player in. So he's the deepest man.
Push him onside kind of thing.
Onside, right. Which can be given as a foul, but if the player doesn't go down, the ref's not going to give it. So you keep all your players on side. I think that's a really smart tactic. We didn't get another opportunity to try it, but they researched that set piece. And then we had another corner towards the end of the game, and Donnarumma, as Ben White runs past me, just drops to the ground.
Just drops. Yes, not hardly any contact.
No contact, but they knew, listen, just do what you need to do to pull up the foul, and we'll stop that corner, because they're always going to try and do something to distract the goalkeeper. Just make something of it. That's research, that's tactics. Bukayo Saka, every time you got the ball, there's 2 man, sometimes 3 man there. They know who and listen, of course, we all watch Arsenal. You will always say this is basic, but to see a team do it so well and complete is unbelievable. Like, even like, I mean, that they knew how to disrupt us, annoy us. I'll be honest, their goal, it's not lucky, but it's not a wonder goal. But I'm telling you, if Dembele does that 3 times, he's not scoring. I mean, he's hit it into it's kissed off the post and in. It's a good goal at the end of the day. But they could have been 2 or 3 goals up. So I'm not going to take away from their goal. But I'm just saying, fair play to Luis Enrique, because I gave Arteta so much credit for outclassing Ancelotti, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, smart, broke them down. We shocked them. Real Madrid didn't have a clue. Yesterday, it looked like we were on the other side of that. We didn't have a clue. Shocked. It seemed like, in fact, Luis Enrique got it all perfectly right, and we really struggled. And then I can stop there, but I'm going to do the one section I have to just, bro, Kvaratskhelia and Doué, these players are fucking jokes.
Oh, my, do you see Doué bringing the ball, doing the... Oh. Bro, do you know what? Yeah, right. When you look at it, I mean, Kvaratskhelia, 60 million in January. We were talking about market opportunities. Why did we not go for him? Maybe the money wasn't there. Maybe PSG had it wrapped up, but you're looking at it going, why didn't we get him? What they did, I've said for a long time, we're a lopsided team. Our right-hand side is our strength. Saka, usually Ben White. Obviously, it's been Timber. If you look yesterday, they completely disrupted our right-hand side, because I've never seen anybody do to Timber what he did in that first 30 minutes. He had him skating. You know what I mean? He was all over the place. It could have been a penalty as well. Sticks his... I know.
No, it should have.
In the Champions League, I expect that to be given. I'll be honest. If that's
He's
Saka,
jumped
I'm
through
going mad.
He's jumped through both of them. He's jumped through.
He stuck the arm
He's
up.
actually beaten the player. Yeah, he's beaten the player. So,
And then you look at obviously. So if you notice, they were trying to get Timber booked anytime, little tackle. Hey, ref! They wanted him on a booking. They knew he was a quality defender. And then, like you said, with Saka, they've thought, you know what, we're going to double up, triple up on him. And if we shut down Saka, how strong are they on the left-hand side? Our two biggest chances came from the left. Lewis Skelly to Martinelli, Declan Rice to Trossard. So it's almost like they said, we'll double up on that right. We'll let them go 1v1 on the left. I was so disappointed that we didn't sort of change the game plan because, we love playing down the right. But once Hakimi gets that yellow card, that's got to be the target. That's got to be the focus, bro. He's on a booking. He can't challenge. Martinelli's quick. And I would have just been spamming the ball down the left, and they didn't. I think the thing that disappointed me last night the most was I knew Arteta was going to pick that team. I think we all knew, but the lack of adaptation and change, it's like, surely Mourinho scores a goal, it's given offside. But then I'm thinking, surely Arteta's going to think, well, we've scored a goal from a set piece, so maybe Mourinho's got to go back up front so that we can now put crosses into the area and give ourselves another option. But he left Trossard up front for the whole game. Mourinho in midfield. I don't know about.
Why do you do that? Is
Mourinho
it scared? Yeah,
I don't think he works in midfield, bro. He lacks mobility. He's always looking for free kicks. The balance was totally off. And, we're going to talk about other players, I'm sure. But, Ethan, again, 1 minute. You're looking at PSG, Doué comes off, Barcola comes on. Then Zaire Emery's coming on. Zaire Emery's 18 years of age. Luis Enrique's got no problem bringing on a youngster at a crucial moment in the game. And I just think he froze a little bit, Arteta. I think he kind of... Does he not trust some of these players on the bench, which is strange because you signed Sterling, you signed Zinchenko. Why are you not trusting these guys? But it was, I think you're right. Luis Enrique's tactics were spot on. Sometimes I think beating a team before you play them, you think that works in your favor because you've got the psychological edge. But what you're making them do is change because they're going to go, well, we lost last time, so we need to do something different. And I thought Nuno Mendes really didn't get forward that much yesterday. And like you said, I think he felt, let's sit back and frustrate Saka. And Saka, people were saying online, Mendes pocketed Saka. Bro, like you said, he's playing against 2 or 3 players and Timber's not really overlapping him. What's he meant to do, really? So, it was frustrating, man. Definitely frustrating.
Tough one to take. And people saying Mendes pocketed Saka, I find that crazy because if I'm being honest, Ruiz was... The way they doubled up, Ruiz was really good yesterday. They didn't give any of our players a second. Like, we've played in intense games where they'll tell you, listen, have a picture because they're going to press you so quickly. If I watched that game and was like, we're uncomfortable. Like, we're not. I'm assuming we normally have, we have a lot of time on the ball. People, Martin Odegaard likes to do the shimmy and get time and find slots and find passes and stuff. Didn't have any of that time yesterday. Declan Rice, there was time. Actually, we even had like shots where we're in the goal and then we're getting nicked off our toe. I know Declan Rice did the same for them, but like they were so at us when it comes to pressing and stopping us. Trying to get shots off or thread through balls into them. I had to take, like I said, Luis Enrique for me. Like I said, he got his spot on, and their players they seemed really up for it. And you made a good point there about we played them before, and normally, you play a team and you've beaten them, you have a sense of confidence. But then I think that went against us because you're right. I think they've looked at it and said, okay, this is what they do, this is what they're good at. And if I'm honest, that game we beat them early on 2-0. I think we played that was one of our best games I think I've seen at the Emirates. I know someone will go to the Real Madrid game, of course, the Man City game, of course, but that game before those games was my favorite of the season. So they've seen the top level, in my opinion, before the Real Madrid games of Arsenal, so they can say, okay, how do we stop this? How do we improve on this? And how do we better it? And they clearly done that. I saw, and I'm eulogizing a little bit over PSG, but I have to give him the credit, and I'm not going to be a sore loser here. And I have to believe. And people all today, I was in London, they were like, "Cess, like, really, like, what do you really feel?" But I have to believe that we turn this around. I've seen amazing things in football. I've seen some crazy headlines, like crazy storylines. I even see the women do it not too long ago, and I know this is completely different, but I think we can overturn it. But to do it, a lot has to be done. There has to be changes. Mikel Arteta, you made a good point. That's what it felt like. It felt like he froze. It felt like he was looking at it thinking, how do we change this? Because really, we was actually holding on. I felt like I was on the ropes a lot of the time. I think we're just holding out to see. I never really felt like Arsenal were going to go on and do a madness and score. Obviously, off the bench wise, who are you looking at? I mean, Ethan should have came on. I'm disappointed Ethan didn't play much against Real Madrid. So for him not to come on earlier against PSG, it is a frustration. There must be a reason behind it, though. I don't know if it's. But is there a reason? Does he not try? Because when he come on, he took that extra touch and could have took a shot earlier. But I think it's not ring rusted because that's obviously a boxing term. But it's more like you just come off the bench. You're not going to take that.
Yeah.
You're going to take an extra touch to feel comfortable. You're not going to take it first. You know what I mean? So if he had a few more minutes before, he might have taken that shot earlier. But that Mikel Arteta, he's under a bit of pressure. And I've seen fans turning already online. Of course they have. Obviously, they're of course they have. Now, I'm never that far over that side, but I'm just saying this reverse fixture, we can't get slumped. Yeah, we can't get. If we get slumped, it'll get nasty because I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know why I'm saying that, but it feels like it will. It feels like, okay, you're 1-0 down at home. It's forgivable if you put in a good performance and you compete in the next leg. Okay, if you don't win, you'll be questioned. But if you get beaten badly, there's going to be people aren't.
So, do you know what? Do you know what, bro? And there'll be people in the chat now. Everyone knows, like, my thoughts on Arteta have been about him. But do you know the sad thing about this situation is, if we'd had a good season or picked up some silverware, we'd still be disappointed with what's happened, but we'd at least be embracing, like, we're in the Champions League semi-final. We've still got a chance. Maybe we've bagged a Carabao Cup, or maybe we're still in the title race going to the last game of the season. But because of the way we went out of the FA Cup to a poor Man United, we got slumped by Newcastle in the Carabao. The league's been over for a long time. It feels very flat, disappointing. It was painful watching Liverpool win the league the other day. It's all of a sudden become like, you need to win the Champions League, bro, because what we're all thinking is, if he doesn't win the Champions League, that's 5 trophyless seasons. Yeah. And I think people, well, I can only speak for myself, is I'm sitting here going, you should have won more. Like, if we're finishing second 3 years in a row, and you look at this season, you should have picked up a few bits. And you're looking at this season, bro. Chelsea are favourites for the Conference League. By the way, I'm not saying I want us to win these trophies, but I'm just saying we could be in a situation where Liverpool title winners, Man City, you would expect to win the FA Cup. You don't know. Palace are good, but we could be in a situation where United or Spurs win the Europa, Chelsea win the Conference, City win the FA Cup, and Liverpool are title winners. And we're sitting there going, 3 years in a row, second Champions League semi-final. I've always said
we'll be laughed at. We'll be
laughing at us, bro. You've got to separate at times progress from success. That's what I've always said with Arteta. There's no doubt we've progressed.
This is so annoying because
the reality, isn't it, bro?
I know that's what's pissing me off, because it's like, it annoys me because I will say to those fans, I'd rather be sat in this chair as an Arsenal fan than where you are. But then I understand why they're laughing at us. They say, well, you ended up with nothing. And because that holds weight. They're right. They're not wrong in what they're saying. But it's like, okay, but we see something that could be good. But it's just like, how many times can we bloody keep saying that? And if other people around us, especially they're in the bottom half of the table, Man United and Spurs and that, for them to pick up, if they pick up silverware, and we end up being the laughing stock when they're close to relegation, that is a worry. I didn't even picture. I was so focused on Liverpool winning the league, and starting his first season being the joke to Arsenal fans, considering we were favourites. I didn't even consider all those other teams. I forgot Man City also. Yeah, they're in a fight. Like, I forgot all that. And they will be saying, even in our worst season or our worst years, we still picked up silverware. What have you got? Shit. That's a reality check. Like,
I mean, let's be honest. And I'm asking the community here. Like, is like that second leg? Do we have genuine belief that we can we can make it happen. Not hope. I'm talking genuine belief, because Partey's going to come back, which obviously should put Marino up front, Rice back in the box-to-box role. Like, do you believe, and how does that game look?
That's a great question, and it's funny, and I can tell you're good at your job, because that was my next question. Not do we believe, is it genuine belief, or how's it happening? Is to the community watching and listening, I need you to write down. I've seen remontada, Arsenal. I want to get to that shameless state. I think I will get there when I start doing previews. Right now, I'm not there because I'm actually hurting. I woke up this morning vexed, but I will get to remontada energy. Like, we're coming back for them. But for the community that are listening and watching, please write down, and I'm going to dissect this as well. Where are PSG's weaknesses? Because I believe we can turn it around, but you're right. I have to figure out how does that happen? What does that look like? So people in the chat, people listening, I'll read through some super chats in a second. But where do Arsenal gain the advantage over PSG? Because I watched that game yesterday, and I'm trying to do freaking tacticians, data analysis. I'm trying to be like, okay, what needs changing? What needs fixing? How do we? And honestly, I was really struggling. So I'm going to ask the community help. I'm going to try and work out as we go through this now. So Thomas Partey returning. Yes, that is a plus. That doesn't win you the game. I'm aware of that. One man. And if it does, then bloody hell, give my man the keys. If he comes in.
Give him the new deal.
Give him the 2 years. Give him the 2. Give him 3. No, fuck it. Give him 3. Yeah? If he comes in and we win and nothing changes, he keeps the same 11. He just puts Partey in the 6, puts Declan Rice there, and give him the keys. Cool, if we win that game comfortably. That's not going to happen. Partey is a bonus. No. He will add to the game, but that doesn't win us the game. Set pieces, they are weak on. They are definitely weak on set pieces, 100%. So that is something we're going to need to target and actually try and stay off the keeper, because they've clearly got a game plan where if we go near the keeper, they drop. So even though Donnarumma, he's good at claiming the ball. That's why Ben White ran across him. I get the tactics, but you need to find a way to do a good set piece where you don't have to interfere with the goalkeeper. That's another way, okay? I'm thinking of ways that we break them down. Next thing, I don't know. The midfield is really strong. Their defense, I think. Let me go to the chat, 'cause I think people will be highlighting their defense. Sorry, the chat is blasting through. Man marking. Love Martin for man marking Dembele and Kvaratskhelia. PSG defense, we need to hit long, expose the wing backs. That's how we can come back. Okay, so again, people are targeting the defenders, but for me, if we get, I'm doing the whole Real Madrid thing. Remember, I was so shook when I went to Bernabeu and said, if they score early, we're in trouble. I'm now doing that. If we score early, I don't want to be that guy, because it feels like, you feel like you're doing what they did, and that might not happen. But I think an early goal, they got an early goal against us. I think we get an early goal and we shock them a little bit. I'm not going to say that will quieten them, because I've been to the Pac de France. It is loud throughout the whole game, regardless of scoreline. Their fans are mental. But that early goal will give us confidence. I think a set piece is key. People are definitely saying the defense is where they struggle. PSG is weak in the air and struggle to play out. They played out all right against us, though, you know. They were playing through the thirds like it was a training game. They were switching. Both wingers were having joy. They were going through the midfield. For me, was so disappointing from Arsenal. So disappointing. Vitinha's a class player, though.
I mean, bro, the problem is, what midfield? To be honest, let's be real. Like, Rice was a one-man midfield at times yesterday. Like, Odegaard. Everyone's talking about Odegaard, and he just didn't turn up yesterday. He did not show up. And Marino in midfield, I don't think is effective enough. So the whole balance was off. We lacked energy, and I felt they overran us. They kept the ball more than us. They ran more than us. It actually felt like a home game for them at times. It felt like we was away from home, chasing the ball, trying to win the ball back. What will be interesting is, look, we were 3-0 up against Real Madrid. I still wasn't saying we're through at 3-0, because it just felt like Real Madrid, anything can happen. So 1-0, we shouldn't give up. But of course, we all feel very flat now, because nobody really thought we were going to get beat. You know what I mean? Everybody thought, okay, we'll get a close win. Even yesterday, I'm thinking, get out of there with a draw. Draw the game. At least make it level. I thought we'd equalise. I think the problem is, in these games, Cec, it's like, football, a goal can change the whole momentum of a game. And number one, they've slumped us after 2 minutes. It took all the stuffing out of us. I don't know about you. I didn't even enjoy that game yesterday because
No, of
by
course
the
not.
time I was
We
like,
weren't in it.
come
We
on, boys.
weren't.
You know what I mean?
We weren't.
We conceded within 2 minutes.
Facts. And then you're just hoping that we score. And it's just,
and then you're just hoping.
Yeah.
So for most of that game, I was just thinking, please don't go 2-0 down. And then you're thinking, in a game where you don't play that well, but you still get 2 clear-cut chances, Martinelli or Trossard, they've got to score. Particularly Martinelli for me, because it's on your stronger foot.
They're
good saves, yes, man. But you've got Martinelli in a semi-final for me, bro. He has got to score that. I don't care how big he is. You didn't get that. It wasn't in the corner. It's a good finish, not a great finish.
Yeah.
Got to curl that round him like Henry.
I know Ryan made a really good save, similar to that, in the sense he got down really quickly. And I said Donnarumma kind of did that. Yeah, he did that as well. But you're right. He tried to do Thierry Henry thing. Both of them kind of really tried to. Yeah, it just wasn't far enough round the keeper. But I thought they were good saves. But again, I know what you're saying. I think I watched your match reaction, and you was like, but I get it. In this stage of the competition, you don't want to be hearing good saves. We're trying to get to the final. You need to. You're at a stage where you've got to put it in the net. So I understand that. I do. I'm going to give Donnarumma some of the credit there because he got down quickly. I am frustrated still. And you're right. It felt like PSG were playing at home. I mean, they were doing tricks. Yeah. I actually had them all. I think they were doing laying as well in the stadium, like and some of the passes. Like they looked so comfortable. So comfortable. Oh. I'm gonna quickly just read through 2 super chats. We've got Bob B says, Arteta has history of changing 2 or 3 positions to cover just one absence, like taking Xhaka out of the midfield and playing him left back. Okay, fair. I think obviously we see Partey sometimes do that when he goes right back. Anthony K says, Partey back, we win the second leg and go through. Jorginho for Odegaard too. Interesting one as well. Interesting one, actually. That's an interesting one because we'll get to Odegaard, but before we get to Odegaard, I know Ryan's got something for us. So let me just play this clip because I want to react to this.
My team would have been Timber or Tierney at left back and bring in Miles Skelly into midfield because I didn't want to lose what Declan Rice does for us in midfield. Not only do we lose Thomas Partey in this game today, by the way, he's got to take a lot of play for it.
1 second. So who would you have played as?
He's done it again! I've told you how many more times I've got to tell you! Skelly in midfield, Declan Rice stays insane!
No, but where's...
I'm saying wherever holding midfielder, Rob!
No, that's generational. I don't care.
It's so good.
That's so good. You know what, bro? Yeah, last night I was so vexed, and I went online, I saw that, and it brought a smile to my face. I can't lie, even though it was an angry moment. The way Robbie kept asking him, so who you playing in midfield? He's told you 5 times, bro. Skelly and Rice.
It was funny, just for like people obviously don't get the behind the scenes stuff. I'm going to give you the behind the scenes stuff. Curtis came in the group chat last night after that clip went out, and he put the fan cam from Lee and Robbie. You got to stop winding him up before his head blows up. Answer the same question 4 times. I was dying. And do you know what the funny thing is? Yeah, Robbie rang me today again. More context. He rang me today and went, So I don't know why Lee got so angry. It came out of nowhere. I said, Robbie, you answered the same question. He was like, I know, but he just went from one extreme to the other. I was like, that's what he does though. He just literally, he gets in his head and he just switches. I've seen it when we're on tour at times. It was, but that, I'll be honest, as well, like you said, it made me laugh, man. It made me laugh. The thing is as well, I don't even know, it's not that he's not making sense, but I hear what Robbie's saying. I want Miles O'Skay, by the way, in the midfield. I want him in the 8. But you can't just drop him into the 6 in a semi-final of a Champions. You can't start with that anyway. I don't know. I kind of side with what Robbie was trying to calm him down by saying. But Lee's switching like that was gold. Absolute gold.
That was amazing, man. Do you know what it is though? I get it from both points of view. On one hand, you think I can't put a young player there, but sometimes, bro, when you think back throughout football, How do
Yeah.
you find Wayne Rooney unless you're brave enough to bring on a 16-year-old against Arsenal? How do you find Rashford if Van Gaal's not willing to start him against Arsenal? Like, no one sat there at the start of the season and said, "Oh, Lewis Skelly left back." Yet all of a sudden he's in the England team. He's starting for Arsenal. So Skelly naturally is a midfielder, and it
Had a really good
my
game
thing
as well.
is.
Yes.
And we wax lyrical about this guy every week pretty much. But again, for me, bro, arguably our best player yesterday again.
Arguably,
Taking the-
he was
Unreal, bro. Unreal. He was the first Arsenal player to go and clamp someone, which I was begging for somebody to just put a challenge in on him. And he gets the ball on the half turn and just rolls Hakimi and drives through the midfield and then pops it into Martinelli. That's why I was even more angry that Martinelli didn't score, bro. Have you seen what he's just done to give you the ball? Bend it in the bottom corner. So that kid is just fearless, man. I actually think some of the players should be a little bit kind of embarrassed. Like that this 18-year-old is doing this. You're meant to be experienced, top quality players. And, you know,
we're looking for him. Looking to him to create the opportunity. I was saying, give him the ball. I was shouting on the watch, like, give Miles the ball. I'm thinking, what am I doing? My captain's on the pitch. What is he? Why is Saka's? I'm saying, give Miles the ball. It seemed like, to be fair, Miles seemed like the spare man, but also he was one brave enough to get on the ball, turn and try and run through the midfield. I know after seeing Miles do it a few times, I see Declan Rice trying to drive forward with the ball. Again, I think that's something we need to look at in the next game because their shape's so good to break the lines is really difficult. Through with passing, and I know top coaches will say the ball moves faster, you have to move the ball. However, I think from what I saw yesterday, you got to commit a player. That's how you broke. That's how Miles broke the line. That's how he got the ball forward. He committed, like you said, Hakimi. That run, we weren't passing through them. So if you got to be brave to do it. You got to be a good player. But if you get someone to commit and you beat them with a run or you push it, you drive past their line, their defensive line. That's how you get in behind someone. But I don't think our team was brave. I think the confidence of obviously being knocked from them, us conceding, I think it knocked them a little bit. And obviously, Marzo Skedi, fair play, some hats off. Like you said, he did the big challenge. He then was getting on the ball. He was riding challenges. He was the one, if I'm honest, I thought the ref wasn't going to give us fouls, but he gave Marzo Skedi a foul every time he's dribbling with the ball. So I was like, this kid is not a joke. Give him the ball. We got to talk quickly, Curtis, as well, on just some of the players' individual performances. Now, I don't want to obviously berate everyone, and you know we're here to give balance at times. But after a performance from certain players, we have to discuss them. We wax lyrical. Like you said, we give Mars Lewis-Skelly loads of credit. We've given Ethan loads of credit. We've joked about him looking around saying, "What? Where? Yo, I'm the youngster. What's going on in this changing room?" Do you know what I mean? So we give them their flowers, but we kind of got to look at some performances that have some serious talks around some of the performances from yesterday before we bring in Stuart, who I know will be waiting in the wings. He'll be here in about 10 or 5 minutes. So let's just start with the elephant in the room. We're going to go to the captain. I see a comment that's just popped up on the screen. Tony Adams would have beaten up Odegaard. Jeez Louise. From Afsar Gunner. Jeez Louise, that was quite strong. I didn't mean that's quite heavy, but I hear it. Let's go to Martin Odegaard, because even today I was in a big boy agency. Today, I was at a big boy management office. Funny enough, they manage Arteta, and there's Arsenal fans in the room, and they were talking about the captaincy with Martin Odegaard, right? But they're obviously discussing it, and they're saying he has to be stripped. But what does that look like? Because of his captaincy, sorry, that could have went mad. Don't clip me. Chris got to be stripped, but stripped of his captaincy. Yeah, no, I could have went mad. That sounded mad if they cut it there. Stripped of his captaincy. I mean, my thing is, what does it look like? Because the guy that was explaining it to me said he should be, and I agree as well, potentially, but he's not going to do that because what it does to the change room. Mikel Arteta is big on change room and belief, and everyone going in the same way and singing from the same hymn sheet. If he takes off the captaincy the armband of Odegaard, that I don't know if it will, but the guy was saying it's going to disrupt the change room too much. And I kind of hear it because I don't know how much influence he has on the players, but if he does then start putting with I don't know, like he's taking the captain's arm off me, blah, blah. I think he deserves to take off him, but that could disrupt the change room and maybe negative on Arsenal, especially you can't really do it before the game. It has to be maybe towards the end of the season. But what are your thoughts on that? Is the armband too heavy? Is it not even the armband? Is it just him? Like, is it something we need to be looking at? Maybe next season we need someone to replace him. Like, where are you at? Are you full one way? Are you in the middle? Are you giving him time? or you're just like, nah, Odegaard's fine. He's just going through a rough patch. Where are you?
I mean, let's face it, bro. The captain's meant to lead in some shape or form, whether that's, he motivates players or he does it with the ball at his feet. And at the moment, he isn't doing any of them. And I always say, if Arsenal want to be successful, we haven't got time to feel sorry for people. This isn't a one-off. This isn't 4 weeks. This isn't 4 or 5 games, bro. This has been basically since he's come back from injury. Like, yesterday's performance from Odegaard, and listen, I said this on my stream earlier, I don't like even talking like this because on a personal level, I think he's one of the coolest players on the tour, bro. You've been there, the way you but I'm an Arsenal fan first and foremost, bro. I'm an Arsenal fan first and foremost, bro. You are not performing. Like, we carried him yesterday, and we can't carry a player in a Champions League semi-final. We just can't do it. Now, to me, a captain's armband, it either motivates you to be an even bigger player because you have more responsibility and now you want to lead this group to success, or it weighs you down because you can't just focus on your own game. You're now responsible for other players on the pitch. I'm not sure that captain's armband has helped Martin Odegaard. I'm really not. And if I'm a young player in that team, if I'm Lewis Skelly or if I'm Waneri and I'm going, yo, we're 1-0 down. Where's my captain? What's he doing? At the moment, I'm looking at Odegaard and I'm going, well, he's having a terrible game. So what am I going to take from him under these circumstances? Let's be totally honest, bro. He probably shouldn't be starting next week against PSG.
If he didn't have the armband, do you think he wouldn't start next week, or do you think Arteta still loves him?
I think Arteta loves him. He loves him, and he's that's his guy.
I hear they're really close.
Yeah. I think he does, but we can't be we're playing him based off what he's done in the past. We're going, well, maybe he'll have a performance against Madrid. It's his old team. I don't want to annihilate him. I'm not sitting here saying, bin him, get rid of him. He's put a lot of good work in for the team. I've said for a long time, man, if you're at the top level and you've got no competition, I think it's going to have a negative effect. Odegaard knows he can have a bad game and he won't get dropped because he won't play Waneri over him. And I don't think he'll go and sign Cunha or go and sign Eze in the summer and say, listen, that's not acceptable. You're under pressure. You need to hold bench. So for me, Odegaard in the summer, I think you've got to have serious discussions about the armband because I see more of a leader in Declan Rice at the moment. I'm being honest. I see a leader in him.
And I know when he first arrived, a lot of fans were screaming for Rice to be the captain. I even think I've seen some interviews where they question him about it, but he's just like, we're all leaders. And it's not just who wears the armband, but I think sometimes the armband does weigh heavy. It's funny. I think the actual bigger problem around this Odegaard thing, because I don't want to go too in on him. I saw Andy, I think he put a chat in the chat saying, don't go easy on him. He's come back. He's had a long injury, ankle and all that. I hear all that. But what the biggest problem is Arteta, I think, is too afraid to rotate him when he's clearly not. Yeah. We've got the sample size. We've seen it since the injury that he's not playing well. You're paid, Arteta. Your job is to assess that and make the decision. Okay, at the right time. You didn't make it at the right time. You left it way too long. So for me, that's the major issue. That is the major issue. There is your lead, because he's not going to drop him. He's not going to start Ethan as much as. Listen, I'd love to see it. Maybe I'm being naive. I'd love to see Waneri have that role over Odegaard for a bit, especially when he's out of form. But the major issue is you need to assess a game, and if it's not working, make that decisive decision instead of waiting and hoping things click. I've seen him do that with Bukayo Saka before as well, and he just hopes that they get him out of jail. But I'm sorry, there's players there that I'm sorry. You said it best, Curtis. You said, "Yo, we can't be it's a semi-final of a Champions League. There's no time to be waiting and hoping. Our next game we're out. Like if that's the reality. So there's no waiting. So for me, it's frustrating. He is the elephant in the room, not the gorilla. And no one can kill 100 men can't kill one. Sorry, I just had to drop that in there because still that is
do you know what? Somebody asked me on the chat today, right? How many Odegaards would it take to beat up the gorilla? I said we might need 1,000. We might need 1,000.
No, What with the hair flick?
Like, come on,
I love you, bro. I know I'm chatting mass right now, but on tour, I get I can't listen. You like, it's like Curtis said, you're nice to us, you speak to us and that. But brother, against a gorilla, Odegaard, that bro, you need more than 1,000.
I reckon 1,000 Odegaards to have a chance.
You'll try shimmy the gorilla, bro.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Or be flicking his arms up. Come on, make more noise, man. What are you doing?
Make more noise. We can scare it. We can scare it.
No. Oh my God.
I love this life, man. I swear. I always give a good laugh. Right. To bring the mood down a little bit, because Turkish did say he came in, there's too much smile here. Stuart, come and bring the mood down. Bring in Stuart, Parisian Gooner. Here he is.
Guys, I don't know if 100 Odegaards can kill a gorilla, but I know one Dembele can kill the Arsenal. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Get him out, man. Take him off.
Oh, for goodness sake. I want to listen. We're hurting, Stuart, please. We're hurting. Let's have a civilized chat, yeah?
Listen, Cecil, I told you before, like, we were not arrogant at all. We respected you. We never won in history against Arsenal. So on the top of that win, that is a crucial win at that stage of the competition. It's also very meaningful for us because we have our first win ever against Arsenal in history. So it means a lot to us, considering that's an away game as well, to be fair. We won on the pitch. We won in the stands. Told you about that. Turn up.
Yeah, you
1
did.
hour before the game. Shut down the stadium as usual.
Stuart, by the way, people. Stuart's with the Ultras. So just for clarity, he's in there. He's in there at home and the away as well.
About my voice, by the way, you can tell I screamed a lot and sang a lot as well. So, mate, trust me. I mean, for me, it was. I would have been happy with the draw. On paper, I told you, even with a tight loss. 2-1 Arsenal, I would have been happy with it because we know we have played the second leg at home and we can turn it over. So thank God for you. There's no the away goal rule is no longer effective. So there's no away goal whatever. Thank God for you. But for us, mate, Dembele was craving desperately for that goal in the Champions League, and at a crucial moment, I remember earlier during that day or the day before, we were debating on. Your friends at DR Sports, if who was the best, Saka or Dembele?
Wait, Stuart. Did Dembele have a really good game, or did he just score the goal? Because I think there was other players that had better performances than Dembele. He scored the goal. I'll give him that.
Agreed. He was not the best player on the pitch on our side, 100%. He was not against you guys. That's why Vitinha was man of the match, isn't it? The midfield, we bossed the midfield. Nuno Mendes and even Fabian Ruiz. I'm not a massive fan of Fabian Ruiz. Yeah. And yesterday, we had the Fabian Ruiz of the Spanish national team. That we were desperately craving for, because he was not playing like with the Spanish national team with us. And we've been really, really hard with him. And tough, but yesterday he was an elite Fabian Ruiz. So we bossed the midfield. It was crucial. Your defense was your strength. I don't really like Saliba, but I do think Saliba had an amazing game yesterday.
Yeah,
he was really
played
good.
Well.
He played really well yesterday. You were missing Partey, obviously. It's a huge miss on your end, but guys, Saka was nowhere to be seen. I'm sorry. Nuno Mendes in his pocket, bro. I'm sorry.
You done a job on him though, Stu. Like it didn't feel like Saka got many chances to really go at Mendes because you had 2 or 3 players that time when he gave the foul as well, man. When he took the ball, didn't even look like a foul, But listen, I have to admit, and Cecil did it at the start of the show, man. I have to give you guys your flowers because, to be honest, we've seen the Mbappe and all this, the Neymar, the Messi, the Galactico, and this, for me, is the best PSG team that I've seen, to be honest, as a collective. And Dembele, I honestly never thought Dembele would be able to play up front because I've always thought he's kind of lightweight physically. He's very quick.
He is still.
I mean, to be honest, he probably wins. If you win the Champions League, it's probably Ballon d'Or, to be honest, I would say, Dembele.
I think so as well. If you know, if depending if the Ballon d'Or is still legitimate, but we can debate this. But if we have a look at his season, he had the best season of his entire career. He's banging on goals and goals week in week out, and he's definitely crucial. And to be fair, he's the best version of the version of Dembele that we were waiting for even at a national level with the French national team. When you were comparing the level of skills of all the French players, and we have talent in France, you know, and everyone was saying Dembele is the most gifted player that we ever had, but he was not finishing, but he was obviously suffering injuries, but he was a bit shaky, and we were desperately waiting for that kind of season from Dembele. And look, he's on form, and there's nothing else to say.
Is Doué going to be better than Dembele going forward?
That's a very good question. Doué is our he's not from the academy, but Doué is our golden boy, like Saka for you guys. Doué, I don't know if you could tell, even during the warm up, is really influenced by Neymar. Neymar is like as a kid, he watched videos and videos and videos of Neymar. You can tell like he picked up a lot of his style of play as well. And I think again, no one is Neymar, but he has this kind of Neymar vibe. I think if he's disciplined, because that's what Neymar was lacking as well. If he's disciplined, then I think he's the future. Desiree Doué is 100% the future. He's very, very good.
We're going to do percentages in a second for the next day. But before we do that, what was the difference from you guys playing against Nice with pretty much a similar team to yesterday? Like, why were you that good? Why were you that good?
It's because that's very Parisian, and especially PSG. I don't know, but for some reason we like cherry picking the games that we want to perform. And the Nice game came after we've been crowned champions of France and we won the league. The only challenge that was remaining invincible. And obviously I was desperately, and all us fans as well, and I believe the players as well, were desperately willing to remain invincible, but they won the league the week before. So they were like, you know what, we can remain invincible. If we lose that one, that's okay. We need to focus on Arsenal. And Arsenal was the main focus, obviously. And to be fair, Champions League semi-finals, Nice, when you've been crowned champion the week before, you know, in your mind, you'll be like, okay, if we lose, that's okay. It's not big deal.
To be fair,
do you know what I wanted to ask you, right? Sorry. Do you know what I wanted to ask you is, like, from a PSG point of view, what do you think Arsenal did wrong? Like, what? Because we just didn't feel like we caused you enough problems. So what do you think we could have done better?
And what's your weakness?
Your weakness and what you did wrong. Let me start with the beginning. What you did wrong first. We need to address this.
Oh yeah.
What was that tifo, mate? What was that tifo in the stands? What was that?
You said I think that was a bed sheet, wasn't it? A curtain.
Even when you play FIFA, mate, when you have this, you sell it straight away. It was not even a FIFA thing, mate. It was horrible.
It wasn't even up properly. It was drooping a bit.
It was an angle like that, wasn't it?
It was like this. And they were like, we received PSG, we're going to do a madness. And then we see this. We're like, what the fuck is, I'm sorry. What is this?
Weren't you scared? Weren't you scared when you saw that?
Oh, we were very, very scared. We were all shaking in the stand. We were like, oh my God, they're coming for us. You know, that's crazy, bro. Respect yourself.
I hate this so much.
Cecil, you know the video of Mikel Arteta reminds me the video of Robbie when he does believe. Yeah, believe.
I saw that.
You put too much pressure on yourself as well for this, you know. You shouldn't have put too much pressure on you, because we were expecting something special, isn't it? So this was embarrassing. Your fans in the stands, they were embarrassing because they did not push the squad to the way they needed to. Because I know that's an early goal. Okay, that's an early goal. And it was like, 4, 6 minutes, 7 minutes? Yeah. You still had the entire game to score. Push your team, sing, clap. You playing at home. You have enough time to give them extra motivation. It was just not even 3,000 of us. Not even 3,000 of us.
I know,
and you were an entire stadium, and you were sitting quiet, expecting for the players to give you motivation to support them. But it's not that way. It's the other way around. You should give them motivation to score and then they will give it back to you. But I was, again, not surprised. I had that debate with Ty, and I got rusted on the comment sections, etc. I said, Emirates Stadium, Etihad is the same. No disrespect to Etihad, no disrespect to Emirates. It's an English thing as well. You have different ways to support, isn't it? It's different the way we support in mainland Europe and here. But still, it's a semi-final from the Champions League. You need something extra, make it big. And to be fair, we were disappointed.
The away fans, when we go to the away fixture, I mean, they'll be loud. They will be loud. I'll be there. They will be loud. But I hear what you're saying. I know the Emirates, I heard, weren't great when it comes to the early goal, when they kind of you quieted us. You silenced us quite quickly. Carry on just quickly. And your weakness. Is there a weak, like, or is it the cherry picking game?
The weakness.
For you guys, what is your weak? Because that game, I looked at it and you were so good. I was like, yeah, I can tell you Arsenal's weaknesses, but you guys kind of exposed them. Luis Enrique got his spot on, but for you guys, what do you look at and think, oh, we're a little bit weak there. If Arsenal expose that, we could be in trouble. Or do you not have? Yeah,
our defense has always been our weakness.
Right.
Marquinhos on big occasions is usually missing out. Yesterday against you, he was the captain again. He was definitely bossing the defense. He was very crucial to us. Donnarumma can also commit very dumb mistakes when he's facing pressure. So those are the type of players we have mixed feelings about when it comes to big occasions. We know that, especially Donnarumma's footwork. Every time he has the ball in his feet, we always like, oh, madness going to happen. Be careful. Yeah. Okay. He's not very good with the ball in his feet. Marquinhos is missing out as well. But yesterday, all of them were brilliant.
I'm real.
All of them.
I'm real. Okay, right. Yeah, I have to do a hard stop at 8 p.m. because I want to watch the next game of the Champions League, even though we might not be playing them. But before we go, let's do percentages, all of us then. What percentage are you, confidence-wise, that you're going to go through to the final? So at this stage, obviously, you're 1-0 up. What's the percentage? Are you 50-50 or are you 60-40 that you're going to go through? Or are you still conservative and worried that, Arsenal can quarterback? Or are you more confident now that you've got a 1-0 lead? And then, Curtis, I'll ask you the same thing and I'll give you mine. So what percentage?
I don't like talking about this because we suffered comebacks in the past. We've been traumatized by Barcelona. We've been traumatized by Man United. We've been traumatized by Man United. We've been traumatized by Real Madrid when we were leading, and then they committed comebacks against us. So now we learn from our experiences. So in our head, it's just the first half. Nothing is done.
Fair.
Nothing is done, because otherwise that would be too arrogant, and considering the history that we have, to say, oh, we have 90% chance to get qualified. I don't think so. There's no away goal rule anymore. It's just 1-0. It's just one goal difference. It's nothing. It's nothing. We can do a madness. You can be on point, and you can turn it around. So I would say we have the home advantage. Madness in the stadium, the atmosphere, etc. I would say 60% chance that we getting qualified.
Okay. Do you know what? Very humble and respectful. Fair, Stuart. I mean, like you again, your history. You said you look at the history and you don't want to be too arrogant. I hear that, because if it was 1-0 to us, I'd be a bit higher. I'd be a bit higher than that. But I mean, I get it. Curtis, I mean, are you? What percentage are you then that we go through? And people in the chat.
Listen, I get Stu's point of view. When you're in the lead, you want to play it down. You don't want, and you want to make sure you get there. I'll be honest, bro. I'm probably at 75-25 to PSG, because they didn't. It isn't that they beat us 1-0, bro. They
You're gonna jinx it for me, bro. You need to back up your team more.
Jinx it for you, bro. But I find it difficult to see us beating them by 2 goals. You know what I mean?
After that performance.
After that performance, yeah, it was worrying, man. So, and they just they didn't show. Partey will be back, bro. But I mean, he's not Zinedine Zidane, is he? Like, he's a very good player, but he's not a world beater, is he? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I'm glad he's back, but we needed him yesterday. It might be a week too late that the guy's coming back. So I'm going 75-25. We got to score first. If we score first, we got a chance. If we go 2-0 down, I think it's over. I think it's a wrap.
Yeah. And I'll close by saying I think it'd be naive for me to say 50-50, especially when we've got a 1-0 deficit and they're at home. I hear what Stu's saying. The most realistic and and respectful is probably 60% that they go through. 40% is still quite high for Arsenal, but football I've seen, like I said at the top of the show, I've seen madnesses in football. I've seen storylines, I've seen happen, and the odds go in the complete other way. So I'm going to go 60-40 to PSG because, again, we're 1-0 down. It's a big ask. And that before, it could have really been 65, really, because of how good you guys were at the Emirates. If you replicate what you did at the Emirates, we're done. And that sounds crazy because I said in build up to this show, build up to this game, if Arsenal turn up and give their best, we beat any side. However, that PSG performance, I'm sorry, if you hit those levels again, we're in trouble. We are in trouble.
We are in trouble. The only hope we can take is, I don't think we played very well, and I thought you played really well. So obviously we need to bridge that gap. It needs to be maybe you drop off 10% and we go up 10-20%. That's our only hope. And Dembele, is that injury minor or is there anything in that?
Minor. He will be here next week. Don't worry.
No. Thanks a lot. Cheers,
right, we'll end on that sad news. But listen, Stuart, thank you so much for joining us. Curtis, as always, you know it's love. Stuart, make sure you go for Parisian Londoner as well, people. Please go check him out. Stuart, he's a legend. You can see, respectful guy, loves the club, follows his club. He's actually, even when I've done away days, I've watched PSG versus Real Madrid. He was there, meeting me in France, taking me over the city, got to meet some of the fans as well. He's a real genuine guy. Please go follow his channel and follow him where you can. As much as we are currently down to them, listen, it's all you know, football's football, but he's a really good guy. So big him up. Curtis, thank you, bro. No time is love. Thank you as always, and big up obviously Curtis Shaw TV. Go follow him as well. It's been a pleasure. We're gonna watch this next game, hoping that we'll be finding out maybe the first leg is only half time of who after this game.
Cecil, but maybe listen, I might not go to Paris next week, and if I don't go Paris next week, I'm gonna turn up to the Box Park Wembley alone as a PSG fan. Alone in the middle of all of you, okay? Clip that.
Okay,
I'm not.
I'll put you on the guest list. You're in, but listen, I have no safe. I have no inform. No insurance.
I will have the flares. I will have the balaclava. I will do madness.
Whatever happens to you, we are not responsible. Okay, I am not responsible. Okay, but you can be there, of course. We'll make sure you're there as well and involved as well. Big up, Stuart. Big up, Curtis. Big up all of you that joined us for this live, and we'll see you again very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Peace.
Nice one.
Jambo Kenya, AFTV is on the way. From the 10th to the 16th of May, we're coming through.
Thanks to our betting partners, Batika, with the support of Serena Hotels, Steam Energy Drink, and Kenya Airways for making this possible.
We'll be meeting fans, exploring your beautiful country, and diving deep into Kenyan football culture.
Of course, the big one, Liverpool versus the Arsenal. The big watch party going down on May the 11th.
We've seen the passion online. Now, we want to see it in person.
Kenya, we're coming.